I'm a big fan of Marvel characters who are a little bit more off the beaten path. So when I first heard that Marvel was working with Firaxis Games and 2K Games to work on a new title focusing on the dark magic side of the Marvel Universe, I was incredibly excited. This title features fascinating characters like Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, Robbie Reyes, the Ghost Rider, as well as Blade, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. I had the chance to go ahead and play this game for about 4 hours over on my Twitch and YouTube stream and wanted to go ahead and share some of my initial thoughts on the title. And before we dive any deeper into the video, wanted to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel if you like our content, and also make sure to hit that like button as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick off some of my first impressions on Marvel's Midnight Suns. Now, I want to go ahead and show off my Twitch stream where I've been playing the game while we go ahead and discuss it. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what Marvel's Midnight Suns has to offer. So first thing you need to know about this title is, as I said up top, it's more focused on the dark magic side of the Marvel Universe, but we have this character named the Hunter that we play as. One of the things that I really like this game right off the bat was how they introduced the Hunter. The developers didn't introduce this character right away. You actually have to get pretty deep into the game before you see some of the other characters. And also, the way that the game sort of builds up these relationships between the combat with real-time strategy and card battle elements is super engaging. Now, a lot of people are criticizing this part of the game specifically due to the strange facial expressions, kind of like the paused character interactions. But what I found sort of as I dove a little bit deeper into this game is that the writing in these character moments are so incredibly solid that I really didn't have an issue with the game focusing so much on developing these characters. In fact, I think it's a good thing, because what I found is that Marvel's Midnight Suns is great at spinning the lore, but it might be a little bit too on the nose in terms of the scripting in some sequences. There's jokes specifically from Iron Man that aren't quite landing. Iron Man refers to some of the dark magic aspect of the Marvel universe as like Dr. Spooky, and has such like a big apprehensive nature towards anything involving the magical side. I think this game really uses the character of magic to show off the full scope of what they have to offer. Magic opens up a portal to limbo where you kind of go and face your next destination. These moments are so incredibly cool and kind of open up the gameplay loop a little bit more. And now I want to go ahead and talk about the combat for the game. The combat for the game has been incredibly controversial, because a lot of people, are just focused on real-time combat. That's what they want in their video games. But this game actually features card-based battling, where essentially you have really complicated mechanics and a lot of different things you can do on an individual turn. I really like how you can knock back characters, interact with the environment, manage a small team of heroes, and you can actually do a lot in one individual turn. So I've just been incredibly excited to go deeper into this game. I think towards a later encounter, I was able to take out almost 3 to 4 people in one turn. So if you manage what you're doing really carefully, you can do some really fascinating things in this game. The other part that I really like about Marvel's Midnight Suns is how much lore is in the story. I'm a huge Marvel comic book fan, and I love it when they talk about the Casket of Ancient Winters, when they reference, other Midnight Suns lore, reveal more about the Ghost Rider, and, when Robbie Reyes talks about his brother Gabe, I feel a really big attachment to him, as well as, learning more about Wanda Maximoff, Agatha Harkness, Illyana Rasputin, Limbo, and that part of the Marvel Universe. Over on my channel, I've been covering Marvel's Dark Web event, which touches the dark fantasy elements of Marvel Comics. And while this game is totally different and touches on some different parts, it actually pulls on some threads from that storyline, like Limbo and also having magic. So, seeing a game that harnesses these plot elements is something that I've been wanting to really see over the past couple months. And I recognize that Marvel's Midnight Suns had that sense of potential. The game isn't perfect. There's a lot of lip syncing issues. There's some weird tech moments. And also, it seems like the graphics in the battle are a little bit more smooth, as opposed to the graphics outside of that context. But I do have to say, if you're able to go in with an open mind, there's a lot of things that you can do in Marvel's Midnight Suns. Another thing that I wanted to go ahead and touch on was I really loved how I was able to kind of roleplay as the character of the hunter. Based on your dialogue options, you can choose kind of light or dark, role-playing elements for the game. And also, the types of cards that you use influence this as well. So in that way, Marvel's Midnight Suns feels a little bit more like a proper role-playing game than I actually expected in earnest. So those are my initial thoughts with the game so far. I am having an absolute blast. I love some of the writing for the individual characters. I love the character interactions. The combat for the game feels really fluid. When the character animations connect and like we see Blade or the Hunter do a big move, watching the animation that ensues following that move is really, really cool. And again, if you are huge into WandaVision or the Scarlet Witch in general, this is such an interesting kind of relic of Marvel continuity. I really hope that there is a sequel to this game, and I really hope that they continue expanding and fleshing out the world of the Midnight Suns even deeper. This is tapping into the potential that a dark fantasy Marvel game has, and I'm super excited for you guys to check it out and let me know what you thought about the game so far. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to check out the video. I'll be back very soon, later this week, with your standard comic book review content. Please make sure to go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.